So I've got to preface this by saying that I'm a big dumb idiot. I spent a long time playing this game and recording it for you. And then I went to go and edit it today and I duffed up the audio. It's all just completely unusable, completely unwatchable. So you're going to lose all the amazing witty commentary. This will just be a tribute to the greatest video ever made that you'll never ever see. You'll say that. But what we've got today is Terra Invicta, the demo. So it came out last week and I spent a lot of time playing it. The first video would have been first impressions. It was me sort of muddling through, figuring out how to play the game. This is not going to be that, since I've now played it for, according to Steam, 88 hours, but that's because the demo only allows you to play 7 years of the game and there is no save. So you got to keep it running. So yeah, I've played 2 campaigns. Both ended with crashes, unfortunately. It is a very early demo. They stated that it's, sort of just a soft launch. The full game will be coming out sometime later this year. And I suppose I should tell you sort of more about it. As you can guess, it's space-based, and it is sort of a hard sci-fi take on grand strategies with space warfare, and it is pretty much the game I have been looking forward to for a long time. It's from the creators of the Long War mod for XCOM, which in itself was just awesome. I am very excited to do this again. So, as I said, this is the demo version. It does give you a skirmish mode. We'll look at that later, depending on how much space combat we get into in the campaign. Settings at the moment, fairly straightforward. I might actually take the music volume down a little bit just for the gameplay. I'm actually going to turn this setting on because I have found that it's something that I would like. Unpause after confirming assignments. And you can do a random C to change things, which is nice. And then there's a bunch of camera controls and keyboard shortcuts. I'm going to start a new game. In the demo, we are limited to the start in modern day 2022. We do have a bunch of settings for the complexity of the solar system. So you've got a full solar system with 350 or so space objects, or you can go down to a minimal one with 70, which is already still quite a lot. And then the number of factions will affect the amount of difficulty and intrigue you've got to deal with. All of them are humans except for one, but they all have different stances on how they play against each other. So let's do it with the 8 factions because that might just be interesting. I'm going to put it on sort of an easy mode so that we can get as far as we can in the game. A little bit of cheating going on, but that's fine. We've only got 7 years to see what the game has to offer. So let's head on in. I'm not going to leave the tutorial off because now I know how to play, I can sort of say. And we will be the Resistance. It's the only one we can pick for the demo. Basically, we're the ones who want humanity to go on its way without the aliens. Let's start. And already you can see a blueprint for a cool spaceship. And they use Nerva drives, which are basically nuclear-fueled rocket engines. Cruise acceleration 10 milli-Gs, so that's 0.01 Gs. A G is Earth gravity. Max acceleration 2 Gs, so this thing would push you back in your seat. And another thing about this game, it deals with Delta V, and you have radiators. You have heat radiators on your ship. We remember the day the stars answered. The day we learned we are not alone. As a familiar sun rose on an unfamiliar universe, some of us saw wondrous opportunity, and others existential danger. The astronomers has insisted that the bright streak in the sky was no natural phenomenon. Most of us didn't really believe them until it burned through our atmosphere and crashed in a remote region, leaving only the wreckage and uncertainty. In our ignorance, we fractured, taking refuge in our most primal emotions. Each of us saw what we wanted to see. Everyone loves heroes, depends on them. To save us from evil, lead us through the darkness. Problem is, real heroes are always ignored. What no one understands is that being shot at is easy. The hard part is convincing someone that they're drowning. The resistance, before it's too damn late. Welcome to Terra Invicta. In this demo, you'll be able to play the early part of the campaign as the Resistance, a faction dedicated to uncovering the truth about the alien arrival and protecting humanity from aggression. This version has some features removed from the final release of the game. Overall progression, objective progression will stop at a certain point. Saving games is disabled. Some human ship models and large HAB modules cannot be built, and the campaign will stop after 7 years of play, or if you encounter a game breaking bug. If you enjoy the campaign, please wishlist on Steam. You can do this from the main menu or the link in the description. Thank you for downloading. We really hope you enjoy, and I do. I really do. A UFO has crashed on Earth. An alien vessel has crashed in the Brasilia region of Brazil. While the wreckage is unrecoverable, we suspect an alien life form escaped into the surrounding countryside. Resist the alien invasion. Greetings, Commander. I am pleased to report the Council has appointed you leader of the Resistance. I am Fiona A88, your Chief of Staff. Most of the world is reacting with fascination at the arrival of the alien species on Earth. We represent a small group of politicians, scientists, and military and intelligence personnel who fear that the aliens' crash landing in Brazil and subsequent disappearance may not have been an accident. We intend to build an international organization capable of investigating and, if necessary, combating any threat the aliens may pose. I recommend we send a counselor to investigate the crash site in the Brasilia region as soon as possible. Our other counselors may be best used in trying to gain influence in nations that may be able to contribute resources to our cause. You may review objectives by clicking at the faction symbol at the top there, and that's where we'll see our objectives. First objective, investigate the alien crash, and we can see it over here. General objectives for the demo: control Earth's nations, industrialize space, and build your council. So, controlling Earth's nations, as you see, we've got the full planet Earth over here with most of the countries included. There are some that have been joined up for the map, I guess, because maybe they were too small or something. So like Europe, we've got some joined up. But pretty much Earth as we know it, it's 2022. Russia is at war with Ukraine. And yeah, so we've got this sort of grand strategy thing of where we can apply our influence on countries and basically capture them for our use in a way. So we've got this crashed alien spacecraft site over here. We have got our counselors over here, Kate Wu and Layak Palanirajan. I butchered that. And they are basically our agents who go around the world and can either influence a nation, affect other groups, counselors, or investigate alien crashes and stuff like that. And then we also have armies that we can control once we have control over nations. So if we get Russia or Ukraine, we can control their units. Not all the countries seem to have a military available or an army. Big ones like the United States have tons. India, China, EU and UK, Russia, various countries in the Middle East have some, but those are the only ones that I've seen that actually have armies available. They're very expensive. Some of the countries are easier to capture. Some of them are extremely hard, like the United States and China. Because of their high populations and GDPs, influencing their governments is quite a difficult task. So we can actually go into our list over here, see about one of our counselors. We've got Kate Wu over here, who is from Washington. She's a diplomat, and you can see we've got different skills, so they can all do different things, and these skills affect different things. They can also acquire control of organizations, which provide benefits, so you get like intelligence services or whatever that give you specific bonuses and whatever. And you can use XP to level them up so you can improve their missions. You can see the list of missions that each counselor can perform. And we can go back and see the list of our Resistance Council, and we can have up to 8. 6 of them are ones that we can hire, and 2 of them will be converted enemy units turned to our cause. At the moment we can only get 2 additional ones, and we need some technologies to get 6. So I'm going to go in here and hire a few more. We've got tech moguls, operatives, scientists, journalists, hackers, kingpins, commandos. So each of them has different combinations of skills and traits, so they can do different things, and some specific organizations and whatever can only be acquired by people with a certain set of skills. So you can get a tech mogul who's probably going to have more on science and earning money. I want to actually take a quick look at what missions we've got available. Control nations. I want to get someone who can purge and crack down. Okay, we've got a politician who can do that. So that means we've actually got a good set of things already. Operative, they've got a nice set of things over here. Might be something worth looking at. Another scientist. Got a journalist. And then you see there's also a loyalty thing. We've got a parent loyalty because we don't actually know the loyalty of the people. You have to investigate and do missions and that, so they might betray you or something like that. Hacker, a lot of science. Kingpin, who will have the criminal trait, which gives you specific actions that you can get over there. I might actually get them because that's kind of an interesting thing. Get some criminal organizations under our belt. A hacker, computer scientist trait is actually a useful one to have, because there's certain events that might need a hacker to do something. They might not be the best, but let's just do it. I think that gives us an interesting mix of characters. We've got a diplomat, a politician, a kingpin, and a hacker. I think that makes for an interesting group. Any orgs that we can acquire for these ones? No. Orgs are extremely powerful because they can completely add to a character, and you can have a lot of them. Also, their countries of origin make a difference. So an American might be more effective if they've got the right traits in America, or they might be completely ostracized for it. It seems like we're going to have quite an influence in India and surrounds, because we've got Bangladesh and Indian operatives, so might be a powerful place to get. Anyway, let's hop into the action. We need to unpause so it gives us control, and then we get every month we get a few phases. I can't remember exactly how often it is, but you select what the operatives will do for the next 2 weeks or whatever, and then they'll go do that.
At your service.
Ready for my mission.
Only
Ready.
one of ours can do the
What's the op?
investigate alien activities, so we're going to do that.
On the way to the target site.
Ready.
Then we've got
Ready.
the rest of our operatives over
Standing
here
by for orders.
who can do
Your orders?
control nation missions, or we can do public campaigns to make people like us more.
Ready for orders.
We can investigate counselors
Your orders.
and various other things like start a coup. I think what I want to do is I want to capture France. It's something I've done in most of the
Reporting
games,
in.
because there's a cool thing you can do. You can merge all the countries in Europe, in the EU, into one country, and it actually makes a difference because the more control points you have, which add up from each country you've got, these little circles, they cost you influence to maintain. So if you merge them all into one country, it might be beneficial. And as you see, influence is something that you can spend to affect missions. You've got a bunch of resources. You've got cash reserves, you've got influence, you've got ops, you've got boost, you've got mission control, research, and you've got engineering projects. So that's the research you can do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set you to go to France. I'm going to give you a little bit of money to do a public
I will
campaign.
tell our story. What's the op?
I'm going to do the same
Where do you need me?
with you. Let's go to Germany. Okay, your success chance is not so high. We can go to Ireland, which actually has a pretty good GDP over here, so maybe we can get you to do it. 71%,
We
is
must
alright.
persuade the people.
Ready for my mission.
You can't do that. You can, however, protect targets, directly control, increase unrest, so it's the stability of a country, or directly just go for control. Let's see which countries give us a high percentage. Southern Balkan states might actually be higher. We've got Slovakia, which is even higher. We can also look at other countries around the world, but I feel it's nice to just stick with one region. I would like to go for America, but it's very hard to get at the start of the game. We can get some of the South American nations. Could look at some of the Asian ones. Get North Korea. Get Bangladesh. Let's just go for controlling Europe.
Establishing control.
Something we can check is our research. So there's the way the game works is we've got global research, which is what everyone in the world will have access to and works together on. These 3 squares next to each one is our priority for that research, so we can put more of our effort into doing that. So that's percentage of our tech to that, or research. And then we've got our own nation-specific ones. So I might cut out a lot of this just to exclude the waffling, but let's confirm, set the speed up, and go. UN Security Council meets. The UN Security Council has met to discuss the alien arrival. Unfortunately, the hopeful show of international unity did not materialize, with China, Russia, and the United States accusing each other of hiding knowledge about the alien crash and preventing full access to the site. We have an opportunity to shape events to our advantage, even make our case directly to the nations of the world. However, with the eyes of the world on these meetings, our Councilor's risk of exposure to our enemies is extremely high. We can remain in the shadows and have nothing happen, quietly steer support to the resistance, gain some influence, and trigger a small public opinion boost around the world and some information exposed to our enemies. We'll deliver our manifesto to the world, gain 50 influence and a public opinion boost around the world, and a lot of information about our faction exposed to enemies. Let's play it close to the sun and deliver our manifesto. We should fight the
They are
aliens.
not life forms or xenosapiens. They are demons incarnate. They and the traitors who support them will face our judgment.
So we have encountered humanity first. Its followers have rallied against the alien arrival without nuance, and they have even threatened humans who support finding a way to communicate with the aliens. So they're extreme anti-alien people. They will fight anyone to get rid of them. Initially, they'll probably be on our side for now. We'll see.
We believe we can join them as brothers and sisters. If we only convince them we are worthy.
So that's the Academy. Led by members of Earth's scientific community, this faction has concluded that any species able to cross the stars must have moved beyond violence as a mechanism to resolve conflict. They assert that humanity must work to build a bridge to ensure the aliens treat us as equals. We'll see how right or wrong you are. One humanity. The growing realization that we are not the sole sapient species in the universe is causing many to see their fellow humans in a new light, leading to hopes that we can overcome our capacity for strife to address the alien arrival as one people. Let us try set aside our differences and go forward together. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Event unlocked Wave of Fear triggers the following. All nations gain 1 cohesion.
We are winning their hearts and minds.
So we've got 7% increase in public support in France. I can say repeat mission or continue or go to a permanent assignment on that. I'm just going to say continue.
The people will come to our side.
5% boost in Ireland. So let's actually look at that thing. We heard cohesion
We found
earlier.
something.
We'll look at that just now. Basically, each nation has a bunch of things that it tracks. It's actually a really in-depth system that they've got here. You've got the level of democracy, or let's say the government stance. You've got the level of unrest in a nation, their GDP, which then also affects things like you've got the inequality. So nations of high inequality will have different expectations and incomes. You can see the per capita GDP. You can see the education level. So nations with higher education will be more resistant to propaganda, but gain less cohesion from unity. Cohesion is basically the level of unity and conflict in the nation. So you want to get that up so you don't get infighting in a nation. And then you've got tech levels for your military. You've got amount of nuclear barrages you can do, and naval scores, which allow you to move transports around the map. As we said earlier, you've got the control points. The one at the end will be the executive, so that gives you control over the policies of the nation, so like forming alliances and stuff. Each country can have armies, and the priorities are where you set where you want to put your influence into the nation, so you can grow its economy or its military strength and stuff. Something we can mess with later. and you can see what claims you have on it. So you can see we've got all these EU nations that we can try and grab for France to merge, and councillors who are known to be there, and their relations with other countries. So if we own a country, we can affect their allies and stuff. And we have investigated the alien crash sites. We'll get a bonus to our xenology research. We've completed investigate the alien crash objective. Despite heavy scrutiny, we were able to obtain some surveillance records of the crash site, as well as a small quantity of debris. We should have a project ready for research shortly. We have gained influence and research. The next thing we get is our objective for the Alien Signatures project, which we just got. So we can say, take me to the research screen and let's research that, because it's a very small one. So we should be able to do it quickly. Investigate the alien abductions. We have detected a counselor in Port Moresby of the Pacific States. So you got your enemy counselor over here that you can potentially do actions again. At the moment, we just know that there is one there. We don't know any details about them. So we can do missions to learn that or something.
We are taking over.
So we've gained 1 out of 2 control points in Slovakia and actually shifted public opinion in our favor 3% as well. And we can just say, do it again. So we get little things saying what we could do. It says maybe we should do a defend interests in Slovakia, which kind of protects you against enemies trying to steal that point from you. So fortifies it against crackdowns, purges, and coups.
I'm here.
So I'm going to send her. Let's see if we can get France. We can get Ireland pretty easily. 16% is not very high. So maybe we do one more public campaign here.
I will try to sway the public.
What's the op?
Because having more influence somewhere allows it to be a little bit easier to capture. Crackdown is a type of thing where we remove enemy defenses on one of their controlled nations. So we can crack down. They have taken Iceland. If we do a crackdown on them, we can make it so we can capture Iceland easier. So I'm in fact going to do that.
Turning up the heat.
That can be part of our alliance at some point. And taking control of enemy things is not a bad idea.
It has always been true that we must leave the cradle if our species is to survive. If these aliens are indeed hostile, the time to go is now.
Project Exodus. This organization has its foundations in a group of techno-magnates who were already funding space exploration before the alien arrival. Now, with proof of interstellar travel in front of all of humanity, they are focusing their efforts on leading an expedition beyond Earth's solar system. I agree. We need to go to space and have people out there to survive, but we shouldn't just abandon Earth completely. Okay, so we can select our management team. We may now recruit our factions management team. As we stand up resistance operations, we are selecting our internal management team to help oversee our affairs. While we are gathering personnel from a variety of disciplines, at your direction we'll emphasize a particular specialty. Lobbyists and influencers, scientists and engineers, officers and operators, financiers and investors. So this will basically affect us for the rest of the game. If we do lobbyists and influencers, we'll get a monthly influence income by increased by 3. Scientists and engineers will get a research boost by 15. Officers and operators will get an ops income, which more aggressive actions. Financiers, investors give us a monthly money income increase by 10. I think influence is something that we can use to speed up our actions. Research will be something that will allow us to get cool tech. But I feel like I run out of influence more than I get research. There's like tons of researches that we can get, and we're only going to get so far in the demos. So I think influence will be nice to speed up capturing nations. We'll get more research from capturing nations, I think. So let's go for that.
We've hit them where it hurts.
Okay, we've done a crackdown on the initiative in Iceland, which means they'll be vulnerable next turn. So then we can do a
We hold
purge there.
no sway in their minds.
Public campaign did nothing in France. You can try again.
Our supporters are in place.
Okay, we control Slovakia. 2 of 2 control points. The executive power now belongs to us.
Wrapping up here.
So, now we control a nation. As you see, both of the control points have our flag on us. It's ours. We can manage our allies over here. We can see it with our nations, specific factions nations, or unaligned nations. We can see our rivals, our enemies, and all sorts of stuff like that. We can go now into our priorities thing and say we want to put more of our efforts into economy, welfare, knowledge. Unity is good because that will give us more public opinion boosts and stuff. Military spending is actually important because that increases your technological level. Spaceflight program, it currently doesn't have any spaceflight program, so we want to put money into that, building an army and all that. So we can look at it more in detail onto these specific things later. Each one of them affects multiple different things. Military is saying that there's a warning symbol because unrest is increasing, probably because we just captured the country.
Our supporters are in place.
Cool, we've got 1 of 2 control points in Ireland. Okay, so this dude can do the Purge mission on Iceland. It's going to have a 93% chance of success, so
Targeting the opposition.
go for
At
it.
your service.
You can do a crackdown. There are things that I would like to see improved in the game, like this little drop down over here. I'd love to just be able to scroll through it with like the mouse wheel. I think that would speed things up, or just have a little show of percentage chance in this drop down. So say Armenia chance 80%, Mongolia chance 12%, whatever. So it's easy to do it. Otherwise we have to go through each one of these things to find it. And this can get to become a very long list of like several hundred things. So you might have to scroll down, and it can be a little bit harder to see that. We have got the United Kingdom in here. Crackdown chance is very low, so can't do that. We can investigate our own councillors to see their loyalty, but I think she would be best used to go to France, boost the public campaign. Not very good. UK? Let's do
Making
that.
our case.
Standing by for orders.
I think I just want to spend a lot of influence to grab France.
Establishing control.
Project complete. We've completed the Alien Signatures project. There is no doubt extraterrestrial life has touched down on Earth. The many questions we have regarding its origin, its species, and its intent will have to wait. All that matters now is finding it. By cross-referencing reports of unusual events in the vicinity of the landing site with similar data from our global intelligence network, we have developed a tracking system able to reliably identify disappearances most likely resulting from alien activity. Allows the faction to detect alien abductions on Earth. So, our studies of the crash site have determined that a motile, sapient life form survived the crash down and moved with purpose into the nearby wilderness. We have no footage of the creature, nor any further sighting reports. Worryingly, however, we're receiving reports of strange occurrences in nearby communities, including disappearances of both animals and people. So far, we have no hard evidence that these events are related to the alien arrival, but should our agents detect concrete evidence of abductions, we should investigate immediately. So that's our next objective, is finding the alien origin. Our research division has been studying the fragments of debris our counselor recovered from the crash site. The volume of material is very small, but our researchers have nevertheless drawn some important conclusions. The debris is made of some kind of metallic alloy that is unusually hard and strong, with properties that do not fully match to anything that human engineering can reproduce. Several of our researchers suspect that some fraction of the substance may be extrasolar in origin. However, we have definitely established that the majority of the mass in the debris bears the unique signatures of our solar system's formation. In all likelihood, this ship was built somewhere within the orbit of our sun. If our analysis is correct, it suggests that the aliens have at least one base of operations within or very close to our solar system. Locating it would be a valuable intelligence windfall. Research the Skywatch and Deep System Skywatch global technologies, and then the Alien Origin Project when it becomes available. Reports are continuing to surface of missing animals and people in the regions near the alien crash site. Using the Surveil Location mission in those regions will help us detect these events. When we confirm such a report, we should investigate it for signs of alien activity. So we can use our counselors to go surveil those sites and find abductions. Okay, so now I've shown the basics of the planet side stuff. Maybe it's time we look at what else is available. So if we zoom out further, then we get the planetary view, and then we can zoom out even further and see the entire solar system. So there's a little shortcut there. So we can see all the planets, all the minor planets. We can see the asteroid belt, and even including the L4, the L5, the L1, L2. You get in the bigger galaxy, the bigger solar system. You can get the Lagrange points, which are basically like the points where gravity nullifies each other for different systems. So the L4 and L5 points between the Earth and the Moon are actually proposed spots for large space stations and stuff, because you can park stuff in there without having to worry about it flying off somewhere funny. Let's have a look at Earth over here. So we've got the Tiangong station and we've got the International Space Station. Unfortunately, they're not owned by us. The one is owned by the Academy and the other by Project Exodus. However, we could also build our own. However, we need money and boost and a free mission control. So boost is something you get from having a country that produces boost. Now France actually does. They've got this little one over here in French Guiana, I believe, and different nations have different amount of boost. So some, if they don't have a space program, they don't have any boost, but you can develop that, and some of them have a lot of it. So you can check China over here has got various launch complexes all over the show. We've got here in Kazakhstan, we've got the Baikonur. Yeah, so we can also look at the nation view over here. We can see just our own nations at the moment. We've got Ireland and Slovakia. Or we can look at all the nations and we can sort them by boost and see which countries have the most. So we've got Russia, USA, China, Japan. Belarus is showing there, but I don't know, the sorting is a little bit odd over there, but I guess that's some funny hidden thing. You see, a lot of countries don't have boost. We are in 2022 at the moment, so not many countries have a space program. But yeah, you can sort of sort and see the education, the research levels, and like the inequality and knowledge and strife in the countries. You can see which are at war. So at the moment it's only Russia and Ukraine. Yeah, really useful. You can see sort by countries that have the highest opinion of you. So Pakistan actually has a good opinion of us. South Africa, I might actually go cap that because that's where I am currently, so maybe just for fun. Yeah, so we can't build any space stations yet. It says, okay, we can't do anything because we need more research, something finished, so let's go select a new project, we go continue that other one. I like that it doesn't let you continue without research, you don't waste any.
We are winning their hearts and minds.
So the beginning of the game can be a little bit slow, but we'll start, getting into strife with all the other
Our people have taken
nations
control.
or groups. We have taken control of Iceland.
Our presence is growing.
1 of 4 points in France. Excellent. Go again.
We've gained significant support.
2 out of 2 in Ireland. Excellent. We've gained full control of Ireland. And we'll continue doing this until something interesting happens or something new game mechanic comes up. We can get Denmark pretty. So I want to get as many of these as I can before other countries snatch them away from me.
We'll be running this place in no
It's
time.
way harder to steal it from them than it is to get them from nothing. Denmark,
Support.
Finland,
We are taking over.
more in France. So on the left hand side of the screen we can see all the actions that are happening around. So most of these are the messages that we see popping up, but some things will happen in the background.
Where to?
So you can follow world events over there. So we also have different map views over here, so we can sort of see which countries have the most control points, their military tech level, their boost income. So you can capture countries that can give you boost. Unrest. So countries with high unrest have a higher chance of going into a coup, or maybe you can, capture it in more devious ways. You can see the countries where you've got high popularity. So you can see Pakistan, we've got a high popularity over there. Not all of the countries are decided yet on who they're going to support, so we can influence that. You can see the countries under control of the various factions. Terrain is a map mode where you can sort of see when you're doing different warfares. Something I haven't explored a lot, but like mountainous terrain or whatever rough terrain can have a different combat outcome or defensive bonuses and stuff like that. So I think it shows you, for the different regions, you can sort of see that there's like mountain, some of them can be resource regions and stuff like that. So there is a lot to it that's a lot deeper than we're going to go into in the demo. I think stuff that will be explored more when we actually get into the final game. Okay, so now we can get our advisory team, and this will be another thing like that other one where we can sort of get the core group of advisors to assist and give us a different increases in other things. So we get a bonus to the investment points. So these are those points that we set over here for economic, for boost and space flight, for military and build armor, and for welfare and knowledge. Since we really want to get to space, let's get some steely-eyed missile women and men. 5% boost to space flight and boost. In fact,
We have moved the needle.
let's check this UK increase. Let's go.
In place.
So basically how it works is like allocating how much of the funds you diverting in the country go to specific things. You can see the percentage of the things that are going to whatever. So now we control Denmark.
The trick is not to look directly at what you're trying to see. Offset your focal point somewhere to the side of where you think you notice the movement. At night, the center of your vision doesn't work as well as during the day. I won't try to explain the science to you. What matters is you'll see whatever is out there before they see you. Colonel Hans Castillo, advising conscripts in Colombia.
Yeah, so whenever you get a global research, you get a little screen with a cool little quote, and this was the Skywatch. The way it works is the faction that contributes the most research to the global research can pick the next direction for global research. So maybe you want to steer the world in a certain direction. Sorry, I got hiccups. The span of time humanity has spent in space is dwarfed by the span of time humanity has been interested in it. Earliest records of telescope date to the turn of the 17th century, with regular advancement made every century thereafter. Therefore follows that on the shoulders of programs such as SETI, we consolidate our resources into a unified observation and surveillance program so we can maintain active, constant surveillance on the nearer parts of the solar system. Allows all factions to track alien vessels and structures that are inside the orbit of Saturn. Immediately reveals all alien vessels and habitats within our detection range. And we can unlock Deep System Skywatch next. So, we have detected an alien fleet transferring to low Earth orbit.
The Surat al-Baqarah teaches that in the creation of heaven and earth, a wise people may find the signs of Allah. Let us heed those words and join together as we take our search into the stars. Director Khalid al-Ashkar, from his khutbah at the first conclave of Muslim astrophysicists.
And at the same time, we unlocked a new global research mission to space. Existing in space is a different animal than merely traversing it. If we plan to go from tourist to resident, we must adapt. Logistics requires resupply missions planned months in advance, while engineering must cope with long-term exposure to solar radiation and the rigors of equipment maintenance in a vacuum. Likewise, our psychologists must develop a training regime so personnel are able to maintain peak performance in an environment where up and down do not exist. We have, of course, been able to travel into space for some time, But now we must establish how to do so easily, regularly, and cost effectively, and in far greater numbers than ever before. This renewed mission to space thus entails a mission to change many of our most fundamental preconceptions. Yet all of these hardships are entirely necessary. For only once we are comfortably beyond Earth's orbit can we hope to explore, exploit, and ultimately even settle upon neighboring worlds, and in time, perhaps far beyond. The following technologies may now be researched: deep space propulsion concepts, orbital shipbuilding, outpost habs, and space tourism. So we can set the global tech thing over here. We'll go back to the alien ship in a second. Advanced carbon manipulation, that gives us atomic manipulation, carbon nanotubes, clean energy, composite armor, graphene batteries, more advanced chemical rockets, advanced missile warfare, next generation aerospace, reusable rockets, interplanetary chemical rockets, super heavy chemical rockets, space tugs, high thrust probes, bootstraps, lots of things. So advanced chemical rocketry sounds good because that will give us boosts to our boosts, so we can get more stuff into orbit sooner. And then orbital shipbuilding, so we can build stuff in space. So I'm going to start with this, and since we're going to get 2, I'm going to do the orbital shipbuilding. We'll eventually go through many of these, so don't worry. Orbital shipbuilding gives potential for a whole lot of stuff over here, so let's go for that. Now let's look at this alien ship. It is somewhere between Jupiter and Earth. It'll arrive the 13th of December, so just a month from now. We can see that it's got a 4K military strength thing over there, so you'll see later that means it's going to be quite combat powerful. We can click on it and we can see technical details that we know about it. For some reason we know that it's got a large laser cannon on there, an unknown module, an alien lithium heatsink. How we know that, I don't know. I feel like some of this stuff could be obfuscated a bit more and like more spying and stuff later on. But we can see here that it is a transport with a dry mass of 4,000 tons, with a delta V of 387 kilometers per second. Cruise acceleration of 0.05 Gs, max combat acceleration of 3.3 Gs, which is quite a lot. Heatsink, so something that many games and sci-fi things don't include is the value of heat and dissipation of heat in space combat and space travel, because every single system you've got on your spaceship produces heat. And that's just going to build up and build up, because in space you've got nothing to conduct your heat away, like an aircraft or whatever ship or tank on planet Earth. It's got the air that it can dissipate the heat into. Spaceship, the only method of dissipating heat is radiation. But that's way less efficient than conduction, which is atmosphere and whatever. So radiators and heat sinks are things that you need to worry about for a spaceship. So you'll see that we've got radiators to worry about, we've got heat sinks to worry about. We'll look into that when we build the ships, but that's something that I really love about this game, because it's doing the hard sci-fi approach. So I love that. We can see that it's using an alien fusion torch, which is basically, a fusion torch is the dream mechanism of spaceships, other than faster than light stuff, but we're talking about realistic things here. I mean, you can also get antimatter fusion torches or antimatter injection things, but whatever. Yeah, alien ship, it's coming. We can look at ship construction later on, because we can't really build anything yet. So let's go back to Earth and
We
resume.
failed to take control.
We didn't get a thing in Finland.
We have got our people in place.
3 out of 4 in France. Continue. Okay, so
Acknowledged.
you were in Denmark. Let's see if you can get UK. Yes, you're up to 65% there. Let's go pop in some influence. Let's do a... See, this list is now expanding a lot. Let's see which European countries can we look at. Sweden. Yeah, we can do that.
Going after their people.
Okay, so a new project becomes available. So how this works is when you get the global techs, research projects become available, but you only unlock them every now and then. You don't get them immediately. You sort of discover them as you sort of assimilate the tech. So there's a chance you might not actually receive some of them, or get them in different order to other nations or something like that. So it just adds a little bit of randomness there. So this gives us the research for the information science lab.
We have neutralized their key people.
Crackdown in Sweden, so we must purge that next time. So you can see over here, this has got a little crackdown symbol
We're
over there.
taking over.
1 out of 4 in UK.
We were unable to establish control.
Finland.
Our supporters are in place.
Okay, 4 out of 4 in France. It is ours now. Whoop. And because we now have full control of France, we get control of their armies. Okay, so which one of you can
Ready
do
for my
a
mission.
purge? You. We're gonna go into Sweden and you're gonna do a purge.
We are taking power.
Your
And
orders?
You can set national policy. I think maybe we can set you to merge the countries, I think.
Heading to the capital.
I think we should be able to do that now. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we can't do a unification yet for some reason. But we can do a federation and we can get Iceland, we can get the UK and Norway to join into the EU again. Well, into it, or again in the case of the UK. So Iceland, we've got full control of it, so we can do it. The other ones, we don't have control of them yet, but Iceland, we can say join into the Federation, and then since they're now in the same Federation, they will be in a permanent alliance and share space program funding and boost together. So that's nice for them. Later on, we can unify.
We've
you
gained
see,
significant support.
under relations, if we go to France and manage that, just
Our
pause,
enemies are still in control.
repeat the purge.
Our presence is growing.
Come on, Finland. Yes, I just want to show you stuff. We've got an army in the UK. So you'll see under France, the relations, we can see that that's why we couldn't do the unification, because I guess there was a cooldown from the start of the game. After the 29th of December, these ones we can tell them to unify into the EU. And then Iceland, which we just did, we can do in a year's time. So there's a long cooldown before that's available. Okay, so now if you look at the UK, we're sort of sharing it over here. We've got two things from the, is this the Academy, I think? Yeah, the Academy is controlling two of the control points there. So that's where we would want to do a purge and crackdown, just to get them out of it, because they're sharing some of the gain of resources over here. So if you look over here, we've got like 111 research available. We're only getting half of that, and any boost and stuff would be shared, and money and all that. So we want to convert them over to our cause. We can also say, since they've got part control, they might want to take it. We can say defend interests
Securing
in the
our
UK,
control.
which will just
Ready to go.
make it harder for them to do crackdowns over our stuff. So we have Finland now. Bulgaria is pretty easy. You'll see that there are also some options. If you look over here for the difficulty, it says like we've got control points in neighbors, so it gives a boost to it. It makes it easier for us. We've got control in their larger allies, which gives a boost. We've got popular support, which makes it easier. The size of their economy can make it more difficult, stuff like that. So since we've got control in some of their allies, they're more likely to support. Let's see if we can get Germany. We pump in some money for public
I
campaign
will tell
there.
our story.
Every circumstance is an opportunity. Our test is to recognize and seize it.
Chairman Soren van Veek, the leader of the initiative. The leaders of the shadowy cabal reveal little about themselves or their methods. In some regions, they are behind rampant rumors that the alien arrival is a fabrication by Earth's governments and corporations. In others, they have founded companies selling products that allegedly protect from a fictitious alien disease that they seem to have made up. So the initiative, basically, they just want to exploit humanity and the aliens for their own thing. They're buggers.
They are here to cleanse our sick world. The aliens are our saviors, and all who oppose them are enemies of the future.
So, the servants are basically human traders. Religious nutjobs determine that the aliens are of divine origin and declare themselves their heralds and defenders. They will fight us and anyone who fights the aliens. So, they'll be a permanent enemy to us because we're the resistance and they're freaking collaborators. So, natural enemies. What we can actually do is, you can see we've got the defend interest over there until May next year, so I think it's like 4 months, 6 months, 6 months. And then we just pause, so we can go look at the intel screen over here, and we can see the factions that we know. We've been contacted by all of them except for the Protectorate, but we can see over here the known counselors in their teams. At the moment we don't know any of them. We can see the known resources that they have and their incomes and stuff. We can see their objectives and their relations to us and the others. So if we look at this, Humanity First tolerates us, is in conflict with the aliens. The Initiative is in conflict with us, tolerance with everyone else. The Servants, tolerance with everyone, and they support the aliens. The Protectorate is in conflict with us, tolerance of everyone. The Academy tolerates us, in conflict with the Humanity First. And Project Exodus is in conflict with Humanity First and the aliens, and tolerates us and everyone else. So there's a sort of a interesting web of things over here. We can see any tech that they have that we don't and stuff like that. You can see their goals and victory conditions and sort of stuff like that. It's really interesting. Go to the global thing, we can see the global public opinion. The resistance is at 13%, the academy is at 21%. So most people sort of feel like they want to cooperate at the moment. 43% are undecided. And we've got the Earth population, the space population, the global GDP, per capita GDP of the world, commodities market. So if we go to space and get all these materials, we can sell them on Earth for a decent amount of money. And we've even got the global environment, so global warming and even nuclear winters and stuff can be a thing over here because it tracks mean temperature anomaly, gases and particulates in the atmosphere, which can be blown up by putting a whole lot of nukes. In the previous campaign that I recorded, a lot of nukes went off and things got very dirty. Unfortunately, the audio in that is going to be nasty, but I'll see if I can put a clip up there. Screw you, buddy. Badass. Can target any region.
Target destroyed.
A lot of fun. I'm going to try to do some war in this just to show off some of the stuff in the game. We can look at the solar system and see all the things that are available. You can sort them by resources and stuff like that. We'll get into that later. We even have a transfer planner for the delta V, the change in velocity that you need to get to different orbits from different places. Going to be really fun to mess with and design ships for specific purposes. Global research complete. We are not alone. The dreamer in me wants to believe it would bring a golden age of advancement and prosperity for all mankind. But I'm a realist, I know better. Any race advanced enough to find us would be advanced enough to end us, likely without even regarding us. Commander Fiona Aodate, the Resistance. The quiet assurance that humans have carried for so long is gone. The knowledge that we share the universe with at least one other sapient species has caused reverberations throughout our entire society. The very fabric of our civilization is being stretched to its breaking point. And as conflicting voices shout ever louder above one another, it falls to our leaders, current and future, to rally our thrilled and frightened masses. Now, more than ever, we must come together as a people and prove to the universe that although we may no longer be at its center as we once believed, we are no less important. Yes, come on, let's just be unified people and not fight. Nope. Well, another thing that the game has realistically is that people just don't get along, do they? So this gives us some social and sort of economic policies that we can look at for global research. So you see, you've got different categories for your research. You get like tech and energy, materials, space, biologic warfare, and then you get social economic stuff. You can get boosts for each of these different things. So I think these are actually kind of interesting because you can sort of change the face of the earth by allowing certain alliances and whatever by selecting some of these things. So I'm going to do the rival international relations. It's one of the more expensive ones at the moment, but that allows us to do things like international development and unity, and you get some cool things where you can sort of join together large nations, and I think that's kind of fun.
We are in control here.
Cool, we've purged parts of Sweden, so
Our supporters are in place.
1 out of 2 control points in Norway. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So what you see is that it's not allowing me to get some Balkan states. It's giving me an error because normally you can only control the executive if you have another control point. So you got to purge them out before you can control the executive. There are some exceptions to that. I had that with like a special event that let me get that before, but normally you have to purge it before you can get full control. Clandestine Cells project allows us to recruit another counselor. I'm going to actually switch research so we can get that, because having more counselors is extremely powerful, especially at the beginning of the game where there's so much we want to do and capture and stuff. Cool, we have Sweden now.
We are taking over.
We have Norway now.
We have gained significant support.
We have... I don't know, Benlo, is that a combination of... is that a existing area or something? Because in reality that's what the Netherlands and Luxembourg and like I don't know, is it a thing? It's not a country, yes, but is it like a combination of the Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg? Oh wait, is that Benlo is a combination of Netherlands, Luxembourg, and yeah, maybe that's it. Benelux? Anyway, sorry, I'm getting carried away. Is it Benlux or Benlo? I don't know.
Ready.
Okay, so you can now... Oh, let's actually find the one
Ready
who
to
can
go.
do the
Reporting in.
purge. You come here, purge this one. Where can you do a crackdown? Jeez, okay. See how many more they've captured over here. And it becomes a long list of things, and you can't see which are the easiest and hardest to do. So I would really like this list to be easy, like scroll through here and see the changes, or just show the percentages next to them. Yeah, so they're starting to take things everywhere now, which is going to become annoying. Okay, the alien fleet has arrived in low Earth orbit. What are they intending to do? Okay, we've purged them out of the Southern Balkan states.
We've got our people in place.
We captured a point in Spain.
We are taking over.
Captured another point there. It's happening. And they have captured Belarus. Okay, at this point I don't feel like fighting that because it's not part of the EU at the moment, so
I'm here.
it's not a priority. I thought we could just snatch it. Can do a crackdown. Czech Republic.
Targeting their key people.
And you
At your service.
can go for just controlling here.
Bringing them to our side.
Let's actually see, do we have any available organizations or something? Diplomat, politician, kingpin, hacker. So hacker, nothing for you. Kingpin, I don't feel like a kingpin would want crossing rivers for humanity. That feels like more politician or scientist. So diplomat, politician, can give you crossing rivers for humanity. It gives you income, influence, science, +1 persuasion, +1 science, and +2 information science research. You see it's level 2, that means it costs 2 capacity, but we can grab that in, purchase it, and now their stats increase. You can see a little green there, and they get more income, influence, and science. Now you see we've got a bunch of different traits on them that all give different things over there. So organizations are really powerful. Can't afford or don't meet requirements for some of these other ones. And a UFO has crashed in Belarus, and another escape life form. So I believe that's what that ship was doing. There we go, we can see it coming in. Push.
We lost their trail.
I think in Czech Republic did not work. Do the energy lab research. Alien abductions have been reported in Argentina. So that's something we can send people to look at. Reported alien sightings. And then you've got this interesting orbs in the sky thing going on over here. Cool, so which of you can go investigate the aliens?
Acknowledged.
Neither
Ready
of
for
you
orders.
can.
Ready.
I think it's just the one
Where do you need
person
me?
able to do it. So we've got 2 things we can do, the UFO crashdown or the alien activity. So I think the UFO crashdown feels closer. Looks like that animation is just repeating itself. Pluto Papers. One of our counselors has been named in a leaked confidential financial document. So basically, since I think
Mission
this
in
dude
progress.
is affluent, their trait, that means they come up in this potential event that happens. So we've got a lot of options over here. We can say, it's not a good look, we'll be exposed to our enemies. Order them to go out of the hiding, and they'll go be detained at a location. Use our influence to try and bury the story, which gives a 50% chance of their loyalty stat increases, but we pay a lot of money and some influence, or information gets leaked and we lose a massive amount of public opinion. Or we can tell the dude, give us a lot of money because you've obviously got it, but their loyalty will decrease and information gets leaked. Money at the moment is not a major priority. We can take the risk of the 50-50, or we can lose them for a turn. I feel like let's risk it for the biscuit. I don't like the idea of losing public opinion, but let's see what happens. So, by trying to cover it up, we've made the world media even more interested. So, worst outcome. Oh well. So the alien thing was
Our presence is
investigated, gave us a
growing.
little bonus to research. I'm hoping there's more to those in the main game. Portugal, 1 of 2.
Our supporters are in place.
1 of 4 in Germany.
Ready to go.
So you can go investigate the alien
Heading there
abductions in
now.
Argentina. So yeah, just a bonus to xenology research. I really would like... I think maybe this is something they did say in the demo, that they obfuscating some of the alien stuff. So maybe, yeah, there will be more in the final game. We've completed the Investigate Alien Abductions objective. Our councillor has investigated some of these reported abductions, interviewing residents and local authorities. The local government continues to deny that anything has happened, and in fact has done its best to actively hinder us. Though we have no proof as yet, we suspect that other organizations are pulling strings to block our investigations. Despite the obstacles, our councillor has confirmed that a small but statistically significant number of people and animals have gone missing in the area since the alien crash landing. This is disturbing news. Many among our faction had clung to the hope that despite their secrecy, the intentions of the aliens towards our species might be benevolent, or at least neutral. His apparent abductions leave little chance of that. But what is their purpose? New objective, research the alien methods. All evidence suggests that the aliens are abducting human subjects, but why? Are they trying to communicate, studying us, hunting us? Or do they have some other purpose, something so truly alien that is wholly beyond our understanding? We have many questions and few answers. For now, all we have to go on is the abductions themselves, and analysts have proposed a more detailed study of the abduction data in the hope of discovering some patterns or avenue of research. Research the Alien Methods project when it becomes available.
Our supporters are in place.
We have Portugal
Got our
now.
people in place.
2 out of 4 in Germany. We can now do Xenology Lab projects, so that'll give bonus to alien research. Allows the faction to detect alien contacts with humans.
We've neutralized their key people.
Okay, that worked this time. Great. So next time we can purge them. It's a terrible word. Has
Our
some weird
presence is
connotations.
growing.
2 out of 3 in Spain.
We are taking over.
3 out of 3 in Spain. We got you.
We are taking over.
3 out of 4 in Germany. We are taking over. Slowly and steadily. Global research complete. Orbital shipbuilding. The old rules of aerospace cease to be when there is less aero and more space. Craft built for the purpose of traveling, transporting, and fighting in space have greater allowance for design versatility when friction and drag are no longer an issue. Materials can be more dense and designs can be more utilitarian. This does mean, however, that ships built for space must be built in space. At least if we are to avoid time-consuming, costly haulage from Earth, not to mention finding room for the colossal factories. Once the sizable initial investment is complete, orbital shipyards will provide an essential anchorage from which commerce, construction, and combat vessels alike will be born. So we can now get the principles of space warfare, and we get a bunch of techs that we can potentially do. They do say make it sound like it's easy, but in space it's quite difficult. As I said earlier, you've got heat worries, and mass is extremely difficult. So density is not a simple thing. You want to keep your mass light because every gram counts. You get heavier, you need more fuel to move. So it's difficult. So the next tech, let's sort these by category just so we can have a look. We do want to get the Deep System Skywatch. That was kind of important. Space tourism for money. Advanced tech. Let's do the System Skywatch so we can see the alien stuff, because I feel like that would be a priority at the moment anyway. So let's get that. We can now do the Interplanetary Warships projects, which allows the construction of 30mm autocannon, 6-inch cannon, 10-inch cannon, crate missiles, and gunship escort and corvette body plans.
We've got our people in place.
Poland, 1 of 3.
We are in control now.
Purged, Czech Republic.
Our supporters are in place.
Poland, 2 of 3. Can now do the Space Dock project. that's going to be important to build spaceships. Okay, so where's
I'm
Mr.
here.
Purgy? So there's less and less places that we can do a crackdown. What I'm going to do actually is increase my public support in the UK because we're pretty low down there.
We'll make our appeal.
And actually, now actually, let's give it one more month. We want to start doing the mergers. We are in January 2023 now, so some of those should be available. We can start do the unifications because we've got a lot of
Public sentiment is increasingly with us.
control points now, which are vulnerable.
We're taking over.
We have got Poland.
We've gained significant support.
We've got the Czech
Our
Republic.
associates are now in charge.
Purged Bulgaria, so we can do one more there. I hate that word. We've identified a counselor for the servants in the new normal. The initial global upheaval in response to alien arrival has calmed somewhat, with various political and economical interests recognizing that whatever the aliens are doing, the end of the world is not immediately upon us. So now we're going to get mission assignments twice per month going forward. So I'm going to set national policy in France
On my way to the capital.
and see if we can
At
do
your
some
service.
mergers. A hurricane. A massive hurricane has struck the Georgetown region in the United Kingdom. The damage is potentially horrific. We may mitigate the damage by directing funds and ops to the area. That's terrible. Do nothing, major damage, and to the economy and population. Divert some resources to help it out. 200 funds, 20 ops. Limits the damage, grants massive, well, significant public opinion boost, and I think that is good. Yes, we can start doing unifications and federations with others. So we can get countries to join the EU, so we can get Norway and the UK. Hey, Norway, un-Brexit. Confirm. And I'm going to say repeat, and we can do something each month from now on. Permanent alliance. Un-Brexit. Bulgaria has decided to leave the EU because they were under control of the servants. Buggers.
In each of us, embers glow. Through meditation, prayer, and togetherness, these dim sparks will blossom into the roaring flames they were meant to be. Superior Judith Howe, Burn Brighter, Self-Improvement Course.
So that's advanced chemical rocketry. Since the middle of the 20th century and right up until the present day, rocketry has relied on old-fashioned chemical combustion. Fuel and oxidizer are mixed and ignited within a combustion chamber, creating a propellant that is expelled to generate thrust. A tried and trusted method, and one which remains as fundamental now as it did decades ago. However, we can improve our existing designs to be far more fuel efficient and significantly safer. By using lighter materials and refining our propellants to become more stable, this classical method of propulsion can take us across greater distances at lower costs. So that gives us interplanetary chemical rockets, reusable rockets, super heavy chemical rockets, space tugs, and high thrust probes. What I really want to get to is the nuclear propulsion, but we'll get there. So let's see. Outpost tabs allows us to do bases on Mars, the Moon, and space mining and refining, which sounds pretty good to me. And then we've got deep space propulsion, which gives a bunch of cool advanced propulsion types. I think let's get Outpost tabs, and then we'll get that one potentially next. 1 of 2 control points in the Alpine states.
Our supporters are in place.
2 out of 2, and 3 out of 3. We gotcha. Belarus has proposed ending its rivalry with Poland. I accept. So now, what I want to do is I actually want to send a bunch of these people to start doing that
Standing by.
relations thing, because we can start consolidating our things. You'll notice our influence is starting to decrease. That's because we are managing control points with a value of 111 against a cap of 85. So that's costing us a lot of influence each month. So we want to consolidate these things. So I'm going to send a bunch of people to do the set national policy thing.
Time to make our move.
Ready
It's going to
for
cost
orders.
us a bunch of influence to do, but it's going to make things better in the
On
long
my
run.
way to the capital.
Acknowledged.
Hopefully we've got that many that we can
Time
do.
to make our move.
Get Space Tugs project. We'll look at all those texts when we get to them. So some of these, since we've got shared control, we won't be able to merge, but others we will be able to.
Mission complete.
So Federation, let's get Norway to join the EU. Yay.
Mission complete.
We can unify all these states together, so quite a few. So let's get Alpine states to join. You see now there's 4 control points and
Policy direction complete.
high thrust probes. Probes arrive at their destination 50% faster. We want that.
Mission complete.
Unification, Czech Republic. See, now there's more control points because there's a higher GDP and stuff for that area, economic value. Got an alien craft. Victor 2 has arrived in low orbit, so we're going to get another crash soon, I think. We've completed the clandestine cells project. Allows us to recruit an additional counselor. Yes, please. Now we can start looking at these other ones. Alien methods, space dock, high thrust probes would be nice. I'm gonna get high thrust probes and then space dock, because probes you need to get there before you can start building there, so we want to get that early, and we should be getting the global researchers for that soonish. A UFO has crashed in Novosibirsk. Yeah. The UFO has crashed in Russia. Now we can get Interplanetary Chemical Rockets project, which gives a boost to our boost points and reduces the cost of boost, and gives us some new engines. So that sounds like a good one to me.
Standing by for orders.
Okay, so we don't have enough influence to do national policies this turn for this one, so but that comes nicely because she can go do the UFO
Investigating alien site.
Notice, however, that our influence...
Our only hope is to understand what the aliens want with us and determine how to satisfy them without losing our independence.
So you'll see how our influence is increased now because we got less control points to worry about. So the Protectorate, the leaders of this organization are an alliance of officials who believe the clandestine nature of the aliens' arrival marks them as a threat. But they have concluded that any species that can cross interstellar distance is nothing that humanity is capable of opposing. So they want us to join them and appease them.
Policy direction complete.
Unify with Denmark.
Mission complete.
Unify with Spain.
How could one so young, coddled as you are by the modern world, begin to understand what war is? I did what had to be done. Closing your eyes and wishing the monster away only makes you an easier meal. Colonel Hans Castillo, during a war crimes trial.
So, we got the Deep System Skywatch tech over here. Living with the certainty that we are not alone requires we change from observing the cold worlds of our outer solar system when it suits some scientific purpose to actively monitoring them as an intelligence gathering operation, like sentinels on the watchtower. With Earth and space stations constantly in motion, doing so requires an integrated network of sensors and analysts ready to investigate whether a transient blip is a small and simple chunk of nickel and iron on a grand journey for the universe, or an alien spacecraft coasting towards Earth. Allows the faction to track alien vessels and structures anywhere in the solar system, immediately reveals all alien vessels and habitats within our detection range. We have detected a base belonging to the aliens at Kano Terra on Quaror. That's a minor planet somewhere out there. We have detected a space station belonging to the aliens orbiting that. And a base belonging to another in another place on that place. Aliens all over that moon. Next tech, I said we were going to go deep space. Bulgaria can't join the EU because they're not under control of us. So unification with Finland. We're now able to undertake the Alien Origin project. Reusable rockets gives a 20% boost to the boost investment, which is actually kind of good. I'm actually going to change some of these things over here. So you actually get some presets which are based on specific things, and then some of them also based on like some sci-fi writers' ideologies and stuff, which I think is kind of cool. So now let's start looking at things. Should we try controlling Russia? Not a bad idea. We'd have to throw in a lot of points to them though. We can try get Italy before it gets snapped up by these ones.
We'll be running this place in no time.
Mission complete.
Unification. Let's get Ireland to merge.
Policy direction complete.
Poland to merge.
Mission complete.
Portugal to merge. And I just realized, didn't we get another counselor? We did. And I didn't buy them, and we don't have enough influence to get them. Okay. We'll save up for that. Romania has left the... Really, guys? Germany has joined spacefaring nations by launching a small satellite to orbit. They can now have boost and mission control built.
We've gained significant support.
1 out of 4 control points in Italy. Excellent, excellent. So what we can actually do is we can look at our nations list over here, and we can see which of ours have shared control points. So Germany, UK, Italy, Bulgaria. So Germany, we just need to get rid of 1. UK, we've got to get rid of 2. Italy, there's lots. And Bulgaria, they actually control the executive, which might be more difficult to deal with. 62% chance, actually. They, however, did leave the EU, so it's going to be harder to get them back. So maybe we should focus on what we do control at the moment. However, the influence cost is quite high. And the ones in Italy are even harder. Maybe she should just start investigating counselors or doing a boost of popularity in the EU. That seems pretty good.
Making our case.
Saltwater batteries. Actually, what we can do, something you can do in the game is do a direct investment into a country. So we can say direct investment. We can every year do up to 200 points of direct annual investments. And we can say, let's go to Unity, and we can put in 1,000 cash monies and 7 influence. And that'll boost the Unity, which will actually increase our ratings up here. We can put it into other stuff, however, we don't have a ton of things. But if you look at this, we've got a 12% rating over there. If we confirm, boom, huge, 27%. So unifying the nation is kind of powerful. They have not come in peace. Images of obvious alien military ships and structures in the far solar system has dashed hopes worldwide for peaceful contact. Many who wish to seek an avenue of cooperation with the aliens are changing their views in light of some of the first hard facts about their arrival. The road ahead is fraught. Roughly half the control points belonging to the Academy will suffer the crackdown effect for 12 months. The Academy suffers a massive loss in public opinion around the world. All nations' cohesion moves one towards extreme values. So look at that. Crackdowns now in the UK. We can get them.
We have moved the needle.
So we just need to purge them out.
Policy direction complete.
Unify Slovakia.
Mission complete.
And unify Sweden.
Our people in place.
2 out of 2 control points in Italy. Excellent. So now you'll see that we've got way less control points to worry about. Our influence income has increased a lot. We're down to 64 out of our 85 cap. So we're now getting 4 influence per month instead of, what was it, like 0.0 something before. So that is
ready for
fantastic.
My mission.
People who can
Ready to go.
purge. Let's purge these people out of the UK government. They, however, protected themselves, so we can't do that. This one we can maybe do. You can cycle between them, clicking on these to choose which one you want to go for. 16% chance of that. Let's go for them.
Going after their people.
Actually, no, you don't need to do a crackdown.
Reporting
We need to
in.
do a purge. Yeah,
Ready for orders.
that's my
Ready
bad.
for my mission.
Let's do something a little different. Let's go investigate an enemy counselor over here. 70% chance, 92% chance. Let's go for this one. So let's go do the alien activity investigation
We'll
over
recon
here
the
for
site.
you. And we have 48 points available, so let's actually see who we can recruit over here. 2 of them we can't recruit because they're a little bit too expensive. 3 of them actually, 4 of them. But then we've got an officer, kingpin, scientist, astronaut, and another kingpin. Astronaut could be interesting. An Italian astronaut with the government and megastaff thing. Lots of influence income. Yeah, you sound good. I'll get you. Okay, so we've got a bunch of orgs that are available. Decrease income. Decrease income. Give science. Give +3 administration. +4 administration. You can do the research one. Science and social science. We'll give you to the astronaut, because why not? United States. Maybe we start doing a public campaign there and see if we can get them. We have to throw in a lot of money there. Let's go look at the nation list over here. Show all nations. Sort them by their rating of us. Saudi Arabia, Russia. What are the chances of getting China? Very little. You see, the size of the national economy is doing at -29 to our roll, and they only get a +8. So it's almost impossible to get there. Like, even if we spent tons of money over there, it's still like a 1% chance. It was Russia and Saudi Arabia. Hey, Saudi Arabia's got 23%. Not the worst. The Russia has got the boost, so maybe if we go excessive in our influence cost over there, we have a chance.
We'll be running this place in no time.
How much boost do we have? We've got 4 boost. I can't remember how much it took for a
There are
station.
2 types of people in this world. Those who think only of home, and those who think only of leaving home.
I don't think that's
Director
true.
Khalid Al-Ashgar,
But-
archival online dating profile.
Sure. Outpost Habs. While we have long been able to provide a few months of off-world comfort to a small handful of highly trained astronauts, the time has come to strive for something longer term and even indefinite. Our newly developed first-generation outpost habitats are product of engineering built on decades of experience in the most hostile corners of the Earth. A far cry from our earliest ventures, which were exclusively designed for scientific research, this new breed of space station is built for versatility, to provide off-world homes for dozens of souls, and from more walks of life than astronaut and engineer. Aside from essential life support and power functionality, the outposts are designed with a space future in mind. Each outpost, already a marvel in its own right, is capable of being further customized depending on each one's specific mission requirements. The following technologies may now be researched: mission to Mars and mission to the Moon. Excellent. So, of course, we're going to go mission to the Moon. It's closer. But then we go to the Mars. We go to Mars. We go to Mars!
Recon complete.
We can do the Outpost Core project next.
Our associates are now in charge.
Purge the Academy.
Mission aborted.
Oh, they didn't do it on the separate... Oh, wait, did I not? I'm an idiot. I didn't select the right one.
Failed to take control.
Control Nation didn't work in Russia. We'll try again later. That was my fault. I didn't select the second one.
We are taking power.
Ready.
Actually, pause. I wanted to quickly check. If we zoom out, we go to the Earth. Can we build a station? We can. Platform. Oh, it was only 1.5 boost. I thought it was like 11. Yes, let's do it. Found a low Earth orbit platform. It'll take 30 days to be constructed. We can take ourselves to it, and we can start looking at how this works. So, if we look at it, we can go to the manage thing over here, and we can select things that we want to build on it.
Flight controllers, about 15 seconds to CSM act.
And we're going to want to get a space dock and stuff over here, but we don't have that tech yet. What we can do, however, is we can put a solar collector over there, and that's all we can afford. That used up all our boost, but we do need that for power. That gives 10 power, and our other things will require like 5 power or whatever. So at the moment, that's going to be a very simple station. If we go back and we show all stations with this button, we can see the ISS has got 2 solar collectors and a small science space science lab. Tiangong has nothing yet. The alien space station that we can see is full of alien battle stations. Combat strength of 8. It's got alien fusion reactor farm, defense arrays. So this thing is just massively defended. Fusion reactors, defense, space works.
Not in our band. We got the high gain now.
Okay.
You said you have high gain now?
We can look at bases as well, and we can see the alien surface bases. This one's got a huge alien mining complex. Spaceworks, fusion reactors, an unknown facility. Ooh. Colony core headquarters, nanofacturing complex, and this one has mining and fusion and battle stations. So cool! Space! We're in space! We built our first thing in space. Well, building. And eventually we'll be able to build ships. So exciting! And only in May of next year. That's what happens when you all come together.